The beast in me.
How many more people have to die for your personal growth?
In this video, I'm going to take a look at the hits personally done by Tony Soprano, and through this, show how the farther we go through the series, the more Tony's personal victims go from justified and necessary killings to violence arising from psychological decay. Tony's first kill was a man named Willie Overall, a bookie. Tony was 22 years old. I recently published a video where I went more in depth and talked about how I feel like this killing of Willie Overall, it gets treated more like a footnote for Tony as opposed to a significant defining moment in his life.
You made your bones with that prick, huh?
Yeah.
You never forget your first time, and that includes your first kill.
You were shaky a little, but you did good.
Hey, Shaggy, grab a bucket and some Lysol. Scrub off my tires.
I remember telling your old man.
Anyway, let's get to Febby. This murder was intense and personal and justifiable, according to not just the rules of the mafia, but the opinions of millions of people who I imagine would think of themselves as generally law-abiding citizens, but they continued to watch and root for Tony.
Because of how I told myself, it's just a coincidence. He's taking his little girl to college.
You know, one thing about us wise guys, the hustle never ends.
Where have you been?
Tony's next kill may not be quite as hands-on, but it sure is personal.
Chucky and I spoke to Donnie P, and the thing, it's happening tomorrow.
Yeah, black guys. It'll never lead back. They gotta be subdued in this place.
Cunnilingus and psychiatry brought us to this. When I look at the guys now, all I feel is humiliation.
After he heard his own mother and uncle on tape talking about killing him, it's like psychologically, Tony had to tamp down the significance of murder in his head in order to be able to process and grapple with the fact that he heard his own mother and his uncle, his flesh and blood, talking about doing it to Tony, of all people.
But inside, I'll know.
I love how it says villain on the boat. I think it's a great reflection of not just what Tony sees, but also what the audience sees at the beginning, because we are on Tony's side. These are the villains.
Oh, God, Mommy! Mommy, please, Tony, please.
When he later sees the boy at the mall and hears him yelling, "Mommy, Mommy," he also sees and hears Matt Bevilacqua yelling the same thing right before Tony and Puss killed him.
Mommy, no!
Come here. Come here, come on. All right. You're a good kid. I couldn't ask for a better son, AJ.
It's right after Tony tells AJ that he couldn't ask for a better son, that he gets the phone call that he urgently needs to go take care of business by killing someone else's son.
Pussy's on the phone. He says it's urgent.
Now, in terms of morally speaking, before it happens, Tony talks to Dr. Melfi about who deserves to go to hell and who deserves to die. He tells her that we're soldiers. It's war. Soldiers. They kill other soldiers. Now, not that he would describe Matt Bevilacqua as a soldier, but he is a soldier in the sense that he tried to kill someone in Tony's family.
We're in a situation where everybody involved knows the stakes. And if you're going to accept those stakes, you got to do certain things.
And the kid that Tony's going to kill here, Matt Bevilacqua, is going to get killed for trying to kill another young guy, Christopher, who Tony ends up then killing himself later on.
Hey, Push. She even really exist?
When it comes to Puss Bompensero, that's the difference between Puss and the others.
Him you loved.
The world don't run on love.
I'm just, thinking about our former friend.
Who? Him?
Rage, Anthony, is a big, loud, flaming self-distraction from feelings that are even more frightening.
What feelings might those be?
Sadness. What else has happened?
Nothing.
This was a necessary killing, but nonetheless an impactful one, and one that made Tony feel the weight of this life even heavier. Even though he got rid of a problem, it added a new layer of pain, paranoia, and grief that he couldn't really talk about.
After 2 years treating you, I've learned things. And I pick up sorrow coming from you.
I gotta sit down. I feel like I can't stand. Is that okay, Tony? Did I sit?
Tony misses Puss. There's no way around it, rat or not. And we see that even Dr. Melfi has now been so absorbed into Tony's life that that's acceptable behavior for her too. I mean, it doesn't make her happy, but she understands.
I can tell you he was a friend of mine. And I found out he was working for the federal government.
I guess I live a sheltered existence.
How so?
I guess I'm out of touch with the climate of rage in American society, the casual violence.
Enough said?
I see.
What are you talking about? She bounced back.
This time. But each time it takes something out of him. It was all downhill from here. Now, I know it's tragic to think this way, but you can't argue with the fucking logic.
When Ralph says, each time it takes something out of them, it makes me think of Tony and how every time Tony kills, it takes something out of him too. I know it's tragic to think that way, but you can't argue with the logic. I don't think we can.
It was a beautiful innocent creature. What did she ever do to you?
The way that Tony looks after killing Puss, in large part because of his stomach virus through which he processed Puss's betrayal, he looks like that to me after he kills Ralph, likely from getting those nasty chemicals in his eyes when Ralph sprayed it in his face. But to me, it's the same look, or that similar look. His burden inside appears on the outside.
What I'm saying is, whatever you want to do vis-a-vis your cousin, your son, whoever, own your feelings.
All my choices were wrong.
When Tony says, all my choices were wrong, I don't think he's only referring to choices related to Tony B. For all we know, Tony could be thinking back years and years, people he thought he could trust, things he's done that he's not proud of, or that he still thinks he could get in trouble for in some way. The people he's recently killed or had killed or promoted or slept with, and so on and so forth, who knows? Tony loves telling Christopher, you're my blood.
Other guys, Sil, Paulie. One thing they're not. They're not my blood.
Yeah. Right. See, Chrissy's not Tony's nephew. Chrissy's Carmela's cousin. She was first cousin to Dickie Moltisanti, Chrissy's dad. But he was always kind of like a big brother to Tony, Vicky. So Tony calls Chrissy his nephew.
Actual blood relatives or not, there is one thing we can be sure of. Christopher's blood was literally on Tony's hands, and he was very literal when he said he suffocated on his own blood.
You know the baby's car seat? A giant tree branch came through the window and demolished it. Suffocated on his own blood. I don't want another Christopher on my hands. I mean, look at him. He's lucky to be alive. That other poor prick they found dead.
He's talking about this other poor prick here.
How are you handling all this?
Let me tell you something. I've murdered friends before, even relatives. My cousin Tony, my best friend, Bush. But this?
The farther along we go with Tony Soprano on his journey, the more we have to try and rationalize, justify, or even deny the murders and things that he's capable of. And I think this whole environment at the end, where it's dark, there's so much loss and decay, it really reflects Tony's psyche, but also perhaps the audience's, which is what makes the cut to black even more difficult for us as an audience. There's so much closure that we haven't gotten, and we feel very confused and psychologically torn up as well.
The beast in me.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this latest video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.